Okay, hold exactly.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Buttle, and I'm PR rep for NARR8.
Hi, I'm Daria Trushkina. I'm SVP of Business Development at NARR8.
And like I mentioned before, we have educational periodicals. So
Now, do you have a way of sectioning, like how Netflix would have like a kids section, this section? Like, do we have that?
We have all of that available in the catalog. Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
So you can see here, these are all mostly the motion comics. We'll stand up here. We also have a platform called Story Builder. It's a web-based tool that lets you build your own motion comics and graphic novels. So you go online to do that, and then that uploads to our platform. Our platform's just short of 1 million users right now worldwide. But it has a template that lets you like create all your own stories and add motion and animation. You can do your own artwork as well. So this is one that a user has made. And you can kind of see how it works. Now this is just the user-based one. So these ones are, they're indie, so they're a little bit more elementary than ours are.
When people upload their stuff, do they get, is it paid out? Like, do they pay for like, how much is like a regular?
So basically it's freemium.
Okay.
The strongest part of NARR8 is that we applied freemium model from the mobile and social games into comics and interactive reading. For everybody who creates a story on a story builder, it's free. And we actually kind of encourage people to use the tool more, because once your application gets 1,000 downloads, you're gonna get a free promotion, like significant promotion on all platforms. NARR8, Rebecca forgot to say, it's also cross-platform.
Okay.
It exists right now on iOS, Android, Amazon, Windows 8, and also it's coming to Smart TV really fast.
And Facebook.
And Facebook, yes. It's also on the Facebook right now. It's basically with one login. It's a cross-platform. You can, enjoy NARR8 across all your devices.
So whatever you're doing, like whatever you did on one, it'll be on the others. So,
yes, right away.
Everyone doesn't just have just one device.
No,
exactly.
You didn't have to start from the beginning because it's synchronized 100%.
It is very smooth too. You see how fast you're swiping through it. There's no hiccups on it. That's really.
Well, thank you for that. And going back to your question about like doing a catalog based, it's more. So it's going to be more clear in terms of, like where's the kids section, where's young adult sections, where's teenager sections, and so on. We're actually working on that right now because it's also series based. So basically, and it's premium series based. So every week we have a new episode coming out on every series. But it's freemium in terms of every 2 episodes of every series is free, and every next episode you actually should buy or can buy or would buy with your in-app currency, which is NARS. And NARS, that's where we applied the gamification, and it's actually more interesting because you kind of, it's comics in an all traditional way, but then it's like gamification in it, so there's a lot of great features in it. So it's kind of you interact with the application and not just reading the comics.
So you can see now I'm playing like a point and shoot game that comes up in the middle of a novel.
And for everything you do within NARR8, you log in, you share, you go into the different quests, you actually gain the points and NARS, and when the new episode coming out on a series you like, you can buy them with those NARS, or you can just buy NARS for real money and kind of purchase that with them. Right now we have 20 series. It's all in-house developed from audience like, kids from 2 years old. Show them Panda and Boo. From kids, and we have 2 series for kids right now, very young age. And we also have more, like motion comics, but it's also interactive reading. We have a lot of educational content right now. And Story Builder Pro is coming out really soon, which is going to make it even easier for, pretty much any person on the planet to create the content and put it on NARR8.
And obviously you can see that, like, depending on who makes what, you have the ability to have different.
Right, so So here's the great explanation on how gamification, for example, works for kids with application. So it's not you just reading it, but you actually need to do some some things and go through some quests to.
It's like reading. It's like video games or.
Yeah, but it's also like developing kids. Like developing kids. It's sort of like educational content as well, I should say.
Cognitive skills.
Yes, cognitive skills. Thank you.
I
just got from Frankfurt, so I'm a little jet lagged.
That's fine.
And then I'll tell the kids what to do.
And the animation is very smooth too. It's really nice.
Thank you.
Because a lot of professional, like we have a child that has apps that are made by like real companies that are not as smooth as this.
Good. Well, parents love it because, like you said, it's smooth. It's also kind of colorful and beautiful, but it's also free. You know.
There we go.
And it gets more interactive.
Hold on.
I'm gonna go to the more interactive part.
That was my most beautiful, favorite part of Pumpkins and Boom.
So you push on the question mark. So this is the cool part and part of the educational part.
No, go.
So basically, they'll teach you about different new words within Pandas and Boom, and it also does like counting exercises and things like that as well, but it'll also teach you the word in 4 different languages and the meaning.
Yeah. So platform exists right now in 4 different languages, English, Russian, Spanish, and Korean. We're launched in all those countries and been getting a really good traction because, like Becca said, we're right now very close to 1 million downloads, 1 million active users actually, and but we didn't spend anything on marketing, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
because user acquisition on our platforms right now is crazy.
There you go.
So yeah,
Can't hear it though.
yeah, it's in the sound part.
Zapatillas.
Are you
Slippers.
planning to get more languages? And
Тапки.
Yes. So we are right now looking into adding additional languages, primarily Japanese, Chinese, German, and some of other Western Europe languages as well. But right now, what surprises me, because I'm Vice President of Business Development, so I'm on the business side a lot. What surprises me a lot is that I'm also working on the mobile and social games. And that's very interesting because in the games right now, #1 market in terms of users and monetization, where people play the most and pay the most is United States. With NARR8, #1 country right now is Russia, which is kind of unique and interesting.
I've been seeing a lot of stuff in Russia being picked up. A lot more mobile games being made in Russia because they don't have computers more. They have mobile devices in Russia.
Right, but this is not exactly gaming content, so
Right.
that's why it's very interesting and unique. So that's for your kid to look at.
Yeah, definitely.
We also have, some kind of sort of, in a good way, not crazy content for kids. We have only 2 series right now. Where's Kumi Kumi?
It's down there.
Okay. So Kumi Kumi is definitely not a bedtime story. Because that would get your kid
Kind of
more
amps your
excited.
kid up a little bit.
Yeah, so you need a sound for this.
Is it me? Am I dead? Why can't I do this? Now, where can people get these apps from?
App Store,
Yeah.
depending on a device, from any major app store. So basically, for
Play.
iOS, it's App Store. For Google, it's Google Play. Amazon App Store, we also have it in Amazon App Store. For not English-speaking, audience, like for example in South Korea, we also have it on local major app stores like T-Store. In Russia, it's also going to be pre-installed on devices, like on the Samsung devices and so on. This is very different content.
This is very different content.
So
this is educational content. I kind of think of it as Wikipedia on crack.
Yes.
No, it's very interesting, but everything's like interactive and moves. You can move it down the timeline, it'll tell you stuff. Yeah, and we have quite a few series on this. We have ones that are focused like just on, it's called biographics, so it's just biographies of like famous people. We have one just for inventions, and this one kind of is just like historical events that happen. Pretty cool though, just to show you that. I know we're at Comic Con.
You show, so. You show like it's showing lots of different uses for the app.
Yeah.
It's fun, yeah. Because it was just motion comics and it'd be just one thing, but that's not what it's about. This it could be used for anything for people who don't want comics or don't just want this and they don't want to just watch videos or whatever. Yeah.
Well, that's why the engagement rate with NARR8 for our users is over 50%. Which you usually do not see on mobile at all, because people spend, like, it doesn't matter how many times you log in into your Facebook on your phone every single day, or even log in into Comixology, which is an amazing application, but it's completely different, right? Yeah. The retention rate is not that high. So I honestly do not know any other application which would have that high retention. So yeah, an average session is also right now getting over 15 minutes in one login, which is pretty crazy. Shows them the digital picture, like the camera. Oh no, not the camera, but how animals see the world and how people see the world.
That is in Paradigm.
That's our first series, which this one. Yeah. So this is also for kids, but probably not like 2 years old, even though, if you have a genius, you probably could. I like it because it was our first release. So basically this is how the human sees the city, and this is how the bird would see the city. So, and then, like, same with a human in a bowl, but what I like is an owl. So here, so it's, zooms in and butterfly, for example. So it's also, like we have series like this, which is kind of simple, also with some facts and interaction to engage the user. So you don't really have to read a lot, but it's something for you to learn really fast. It's sort of like Lumosity, I think, but it's just more interactive and entertaining.
Now, people want to find out more about this. What is the website? You guys have a website or?
Yes, it's www.narr8.me. What we also did, another interesting thing is that in Russia we signed up one of the top authors on books, and based on his book, we created a comics. Secret City, one of the...
which is the one I was playing the point and shoot game in. His name is Vadim Panov. He's a very famous sci-fi writer. He's our first licensed IP actually that we have on here, and then Kumi Kumi was the second one. And that's by Toonbox.ru.
Yeah.
And they're also a Russian company. I'll show you Secret City again because we didn't.
So what we're doing right now, we're actually licensing, big authors, comics or just books. And we're ready to create content based on their books to make it more interactive and to turn a simple book into comics or motion comics. He's been very successful on NARR8 as well with his book. We signed him on one book, but it's been quite interesting.
It's just fun.
And now, with social media, like this is on for everything, Twitter, Facebook,
Yep.
you can interact
Yes.
with it.
Yeah. So
Whatever.
basically.
Now, how does it work?
I'm going to show you. So basically, the catalog. When we talked about catalog, this is how a user sees all his series. So here, because like we love this stuff, we download everything, but you can actually. This is a general catalog.
Right.
So here's everything. There is like the featuring and marketing opportunities for the big, like guys with story builders. This is everything we have here. And then there is my series. So basically, if you probably don't want to read all of it, so here is going to be just several series you would like to. And then we have a club. Oh, you have no internet here? So basically, sorry, there is like no Wi-Fi here, but we have forum, which is very, very active, and people talk about series and so on. And then you have friends, which you can kind of get from Facebook or Twitter. We have, here's Facebook, Twitter, and Kontakte, which is the biggest social network in Russia.
Okay.
And here's this gamification piece of it. So basically, here's the achievements you get when you go through the quests on NARR8, and there's also collectibles. So you can collect different things, from unlocking another episode, or from downloading another episode, or sharing it with your friends, and so on. I'm so sorry there's no internet, but you can see the features here.
Right.
It's like pretty cool, comic mini statues. Everybody loves and collects. I have like hundreds of them, so that's interacts as well. You can also kind of present it to your friends. You can kind of exchange your collectibles from here, from NARR8, with other of your friends. Or we're also thinking about implementing some of the random people. Basically, if they're not necessarily on your Facebook friends, but they want to be your friends on NARR8, that might be a possibility as well. And another great feature is, which is coming up, I believe, this week, is the parental control.
This is very
So basically, when we go. Basically, for example, if your kid wants to read Panda and Boom and Kumi Kumi, right, but you don't want them to see anything else, you can put it's gonna look like, here's gonna be like tiny sign, which you as a parent click, and you put several digits in it as a password, and that is not gonna be available to anyone.
locked up.
Yes.
Like
So they can
crazy
get
parental control.
Yes. So they can see only, like this, but yeah.
No other app does that. Any like pharmacology app, like they don't have really parental control that I know. They just whatever you download is there.
Right. So that's why, we thought about it because, more content coming in on NARR8. We're also encouraging more people to release the story builder stories. So that's why it's kind of important. We also have all our games. This is the games actually, like mobile games, cross-promoting here, which also been driving the good retention for us. Because, for example, it's all downloadable, by the way, which is great. When you do not have the Wi-Fi access, you still can enjoy it. You still can read it. You still can play it if you download it beforehand. And it's basically great because, like you're reading an episode, you're getting bored, you go and play a game. You're playing games and you're going back to read another series or another episode, which is kind of amazing and been showing us really, really good results.
Anything else you want to mention? Like to wrap it up?
We're awesome.